Well, we're very honored today on Spilling the Tea with Studio D. We've got a very special guest. We have Miss Susie Everett. We appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk with us. This is a first for us. This is our first road show, if you will. And we just kind of came in and made ourselves at home and invaded an office.
Yeah.
So,
You've been very generous.
and I'm sure a lot of folks out there are going to be familiar with you from TV commercials, that kind of thing. But why don't we just get started just tell us about where you're from, that kind of thing, maybe your involvement.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on,
Sure.
too, so we get to share a little bit about why we do what we do. And well, actually, I'm from Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Outside of Tulsa, in a little place called Keystone.
Yeah.
I went to school, since we're going to be talking about schools
Right.
mainly. I went to school from first to fifth grade, where we had one teacher for 2 classes.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
We
wow.
were way out in the country, and we were a very country. Around from my house was Hound Dog Holler. So, and then when I was 10, almost 11, we moved to Benton, Arkansas. So I've been around Benton, Arkansas a long time.
Right.
I graduated from Benton schools.
So you before we got rolling, you said you had some experience in the school system.
Yes, back in the 90s, I'm a nurse. I have my nurse practitioner degree, and I was school nurse for a couple of years in the Benton School District. And at that time, we didn't have a school nurse in each school, so it was a
Wow.
busy
Oh,
time. But
Yeah.
I bet you were very busy.
it was, and I loved being in the school system. But
Right.
It was busy.
Yeah, and you know, I can tell you, I've been a principal, assistant principal, but those nurses are constantly moving.
Yes,
So,
yes. I had 3 schools, so I was constantly
yeah.
moving.
Well, thank goodness they've kind of broken down the ratio now. So
That was great.
they should
So
have
great.
at least a nurse or nurses aide, I guess, in
They
all
do.
buildings.
They have,
Yeah.
and I know in our local districts.
Gotcha.
You say Hound Dog Holler, and it made
Yeah.
me think, I grew up outside of Malvern, but when 911 came in and named street signs or whatever, we lived on Burks Lane, but the street coming to it was Possum Trot.
Yeah, that's kind of, that's
So it makes you, small town, yeah.
So as far as the car business, how did that get started for you?
Well, okay. Well, my husband's been in the car business. Just, he had already been in the car business 28 years, and he decided it had kind of turned corporate.
Right.
He decided to retire. I'm getting to where I'm got
Okay,
involved.
sure.
But he decided to retire. He was out 9 months, and he had told them when he left that if they ever decided to sell one, that asked to contact him, and
Right.
this corporation decided to sell. And they contacted Dwight, and so we took a loan, and we stepped out on some faith, and
Right.
and this is where I got involved. Did not dream I would be so involved.
Right.
I said, I'll help you any way I can. So in
Wow.
the
Yeah.
beginning, I was human resource, I was customer service, and
Right.
then did the commercials and everything
Right,
else.
right.
Oh, wow.
So I was a busy girl.
So how many dealerships do you guys have now?
Well, we have 4 here, and then we're about to open up a Volkswagen in Northwest Arkansas.
Okay, yeah. The commercials, when you talk about that, I think that's how most folks know you. But so today we just want to kind of hit on the philanthropic side that you guys, Saline County brags on you guys all the time. You guys are, very generous to each and every one of the school districts. So obviously you got a passion for it.
Well, and then you talked about how we got started. When we first started, Dwight called in the school, the superintendents of the schools. I mean, this is from the get-go. This was
Right.
before we knew that,
Yeah.
God was going to bless us so
Sure.
much in our business. But he said, we want to be a part of the schools. We want to be a part of the community. It's important to us.
Right.
He grew up in Saline County, and he just wanted to give back. And
Right.
he's, one of his philosophies, and he wore a bracelet with it on that said bags, and it stood for be a good steward.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it was important to us.
Yeah, sure.
And let me say this too: that General Motors has a good program that, as the more car, I'm not trying to
Yeah. Sure.
push for cars, but the
Right.
more cars we sell, they give us so many dollars back.
Right.
It has to be invested into the community.
Yeah.
It's not for anything else.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
it's kind of it's work because we hired somebody just
Right.
to do that.
Right.
But anyway, I'm saying they help us too.
Right,
It's,
right.
You know, so.
Well, and I mean, I'm a former principal for Magnet, and you guys have helped Magnet Cove. I mean, just everywhere, just not Saline County. So it's pretty awesome what y'all do.
Well,
So.
thank you. It's been humbling and a blessing.
So is Dwight? Is he a Arkansan or?
He is Benton, Arkansas.
Oh wow.
Aw.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and we're getting old now, so it's a long time.
He knows everybody then, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously you guys have a passion for education. So we kind of like to talk about this a little bit. Maybe a favorite teacher you had and why?
I was thinking about that. I've always liked when a history teacher could make history come alive, and so I remember in junior high, she's gone now, but Theda White would just she would march across that room and talk about American history, and you're just
Right.
like, and I loved, that was always fun to me.
Well, you know, and some of those things I miss because I graduated high school in '85. But you know, technology is great, but like you're saying, when the teacher was the main focus, and we wasn't using all these computers, and I understand. I mean, you know, you got to grow forward. I absolutely understand that. But there's something about that nostalgia of being back in the school. And everybody we've asked so far, I mean, just like you, it takes them about a half a second to pop that favorite teacher
Right,
in there.
Right.
Right.
So,
And I know how here I am. When a ministry I'm started being involved in is involved with education actually for ladies that have gotten out and need some help getting back in the workforce and just some support. But the teachers, we have teachers and we have retired teachers, and they're all great. But I see the ones that have that passion
Right.
and spark to
Yes.
moving around. That
Right.
and it's not just the passion to teach; it's the way they care for
Yeah.
the student.
Yeah,
Just
make
kind
it-
of like naturals. They're
Yeah.
making a difference. And
Yeah.
you know, that's one of the things that you know that we're really trying to get rolling is recruiting more teachers. You know, there for a while, teachers probably were our own worst enemy. You know, your kid comes to you and says, "Hey, thinking about being a teacher." "Oh, you don't want to do that. Doesn't make money." But the thing about that is, you hit the nail on the head. Is it's about that heart, that passion for the students. It's not at all about
never about the money.
yeah. So, well, I tell people this, and this is true. I got into it for the money because I came from radio, and I got a significant pay raise. Yeah, yeah. But it was one of those things that, you know, like you're saying, God has blessed me too because, you know, He let me do radio, which was my childhood dream, and then by doing, you know, certain days like Red Ribbon Week and Career Days. I mean, He was saying, "Okay, you've had your fun. Now let's open the big door and you walk down the path that I've got for you." So, you know, like I said, it comes right down to just having that passion. And but for sure, you can tell the ones that have it and the ones that don't,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we talk all the time about it's just crazy what God can do. So, because I tell him all the time, if you had ever told me I was going to be a principal, I would have said, "You're crazy. There's no way."
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
but I mean, with
And
God,
boy,
yeah.
when those principals are involved and the students and then the leadership, it just flows on
It
down.
just trickles
It's
down.
really important.
Right. So
Yes.
I know, I know from the TV commercials, you have grandkids. Are they?
I do. Yes, they're in the Benton school system.
Okay.
Huh?
All right.
Awesome.
So what ages from?
Well, we have a first grader, a second grader, 2 sixth graders,
Wow.
and 2 ninth graders.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you're at all kinds of ball games.
Right. Exactly.
all
Yeah.
all kinds of
Yeah.
events.
Yeah.
So, you know, as far as Saline County goes, the thing about us, we talk about this too, but we're very blessed with the schools that we have. You know, even our smallest school, Kirby, they're doing some innovative things, but you've been here, like you say, pretty much a lot of your life and watching the schools progress.
Oh my goodness! One of the I remember going into the robotics because we had helped with the Bryant School's robotic program, which is and that teacher
Right.
is really passionate there, and their robotic program and all the
Right.
equipment and all the things that those students are doing in that room
Right.
is amazing. Of course, Bryant Junior High is amazing
Yeah.
in itself.
Wow.
That building is
Mhm.
bigger than my college campus. But,
Yeah.
it's the things like that that have changed, and
Right.
then graphic design. Got to go in a Benton Schools, the high school department, for their graphic design class, because they're going to paint a mural
Oh, wow.
on the building that we're doing the ministry,
Okay,
and they got to
awesome.
speak to them. But the things that are going on there, and I mean, good grief, we didn't have computers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, the Career Center here in Saline County, you know, we got
that's
to tour
nice.
that, and that's, you know, these kids that necessarily, you know, if they're wanting to leave high school and go right into the workforce, I mean, that's a great option for them over there.
Yes.
I mean, I was blown away with that thing.
I haven't got to tour that, but I've heard it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
should. It really is really neat.
Yeah. So, you know, as far as, you know, you say y'all have like 4 dealerships. Did the first one, where was it?
Well, it's our mothership. It's the Buick GMC, the store. Well, it's Buick Pontiac GMC when
Right.
it started in 2006.
Wow.
And we're in a newer building now, but it was right next door.
Yeah, you say Pontiac. That's something.
Yeah.
If you threw
Pontiac
that out, to
Grand
kids,
Am,
they're like,
Pontiac
"What?"
Grand
I
Am,
know.
yeah.
It's
My
that-
sister had a
Yeah.
Grand Am.
Yeah.
I told Darren on the way up, I said, we've bought 2 cars from Everett Trace Colley that's at the Ford dealership.
Oh, uh-huh.
His dad works with my husband, and he's great kid. I say kid because he's
I know.
so young. But
You know, one of the things too, I think, you know, in talking to our schools, I know you guys, you know, as far as being out in the community, I mean, you know, they tell me that you guys are good to come around.
Oh,
so,
yeah. And our people that work with us, they're at these events and stuff, you know, giving back. They go to the schools. They're giving donuts to teachers, and I don't know
Right.
what else.
Aw.
Right.
You know, well, the bicycles for the kids, just a lot of things that
Right.
our employees get involved with too.
Right.
Which we've got to. That's a part of is having good people.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that exactly. I mean, at the co-op, I think we're now a little over 200 employees. I mean, some, you know, we don't lay our eyes on them very often just because of the structure and our, you know, some of the people that we hold contracts for, like Desi and some of those folks. So, but we try to get to them as much as we can. But back to it's exactly what you said. They're passionate. If we go after it, somebody hears something about a kid, they want to pour in it.
Yes.
But to me, that goes and speaks to, you know, just being there for the whole child, you know, and so they get that. So, pandemic, how were the Everetts through that when they closed her down for a little bit?
Well, we did pretty well. We never did actually have to shut our businesses down because we're considered essential.
Sure.
And of course, you saw the car lots all around getting less cars and less
Right.
cars and
Right.
less cars. And at first, that was hard. And then we started, they slowly trickled in. And I was concerned about our employees, but since the supply was less than the demand, the salesmen were still doing okay. It's just
Right.
a little bit longer to get your vehicle.
Sure. Sure.
And it's okay for us right now. We're the employees are doing all right,
Good.
and all that stuff.
good.
And we're getting vehicles are coming in a little bit better.
Well, good.
Yeah.
So grandkids, were they okay with the virtual stuff? I mean, we obviously dealing with kids like we do. We have some that love it, some not so much.
No, they didn't like. They weren't too great with the virtual, and then having to wear one of my granddaughters, the mask just
Oh, yeah.
really messed her up.
Right. Yeah.
One of the younger ones, the older ones adapted.
Sure.
But the virtual, I think it might have been the parents that didn't just
Right. Oh, yeah.
as much
Well, hey,
as the
the-
kids.
The
There-
kids miss their friends.
Hey,
Yeah.
there is absolutely a lot of truth in that. What we should have done is basically just have our people kind of get a blooper reel with some of the things that go on in the background
Yeah,
with
behind the
meetings or what have
scenes,
you.
yeah.
So, but yeah, and the other thing, that's one of the things I think that we have to be very direct and focused, intentional about these kids that don't necessarily, fit in the regular day. So those kinds of people, I think, are the ones which I don't think we really thought it would be as successful as it was. And some of them have got in there, turned it
really
around.
So it's been good for some.
It really has been good.
Good.
It really
Yeah,
has
it
for
really has.
some.
I always get concerned about the ones that the internet access and that kind of thing. Not everyone is blessed.
Oh, yeah.
But the schools provided
Right.
the laptops.
Yeah.
Right.
That made a big difference.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Ye-
access to internet.
Yeah, we had some real creative folks in some of the outlying schools, kind of, in the country, if you will. But one of them made an arrangement with a church and actually put some equipment in there so the kids and the parents could pull up in the parking lot.
Oh, good.
And so, so
Make a way.
and that's the other thing that the pandemic, I think the biggest plus for us actually is that to see schools come together. There's always some kind of, just competition. We get that, but with the pandemic there, I mean, if somebody needed mask and this district had, so
Yeah.
that
Chipped
to
in
me
and
that was
helped, and
There
yeah,
was there was a lot of good
yeah,
out of
right.
some bad.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, definitely. You had to find the positives, but there were
Right.
some positives that came out of it.
So, moving forward, you guys are going to hopefully, I guess, keep expanding. Maybe. I mean, good Lord willing,
I don't
creek
know.
don't
I'm
rise.
kind of like, there's enough
Right.
out there. I don't know. I think if certain opportunities came along, they might consider. And I kind of stay out of that because I stay busy enough.
Sure, sure.
And I don't have to have any more.
Yeah.
Yeah. well,
But,
yeah.
I don't even talk to my husband when he
Yeah.
starts talking about
I got
that.
you.
But yes, I think there's certain things that they would consider if opportunity or came about. But
So
I don't know.
as far as being very active and besides your grandkids, so what is your passion right now?
okay, well, it's called Women Equip Christian Women's Job Corps. It's something we started. We've had 2 semesters,
Oh, wow.
and we go 2 days a week, but it takes a lot more than 2 days a week.
Sure.
to-
Oh,
to
absolutely.
have
Prepare,
a ministry
yeah.
going. It's we spent a year just preparing for, and then we had the last semester. It's for women 18 and older that just want a hand up, not a handout. They come to class, they learn positive things about relationships, finance management, basic computer, some things that they might
Right.
have not just got in high
Sure.
school, and then life's
Right.
taking them on a path that's, maybe some poor decisions or just environment
Right.
that didn't
Sure.
let them prosper. And anyway, and I'm seeing though it's that caring about them, and is really making the difference because there's education
Sure.
everywhere. but
Right.
when
Right.
you have that passion for them, and they feel that.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we're having graduation tonight. We have 9 graduates,
Oh,
and last
wow.
semester on our first semester we had 3.
All right.
And we've tripled. So
Yeah, exactly.
great.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
awesome.
and
Changing lives.
we can,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's and such a good group of teachers that are
Yeah.
with us that care, and it's been really
Well, that goes back to that passion piece. Those that are very passionate about it, I don't think they ever lose that desire to want to teach. And we talk about that all the time. I mean, we're 26 years in, both of us. Can you believe we stood and taught together? I know I look a lot younger. right?
I don't dye my hair. I mean, I'm starting to get the gray. I'm starting to get the gray back here.
it's a big adjustment.
I'm just saying.
I don't dye
Yeah.
mine.
I'm like, I'm just gonna let it go.
Well, but to the passion piece, we see lots and lots of need out there, and teachers that are what I would consider a real teacher. They want to stay connected in some way. And one of the passions that we have is kind of like what you said. We kick it around jokingly, but it would be the opportunity to kind of have some of these cast-offs, the folks that have been written off, being. And I think, teachers for sure can see it, but sometimes as administration, when you work your way through there, man, you can well imagine some of the things that,
Yeah. That
and-
some of the kids go
Actually,
through.
some things that we would never imagine.
Never.
Right.
It's
yeah.
yes, I couldn't even believe it when I first
And I just
got
hear
in.
story after story.
Yeah.
I went to a retreat, and there was a lot of women that had a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I called my mom after. I said, "Thank you for giving me a good home." you
Right.
know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's just a lot of stuff we take for granted. You know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and
Put on
a
that.
lot of times, we encourage, especially the young teachers. To me, right now, that's probably my passion is getting to those teachers that are about to go out, and the thing I love about this generation, though, I've seen it get better is about asking questions. In the beginning, they'd all just sit there and kind of roll their eyes like I got to get through this class, but it seems more the ones that are going into education are really thinking things through. So.
Good.
Yeah, I think the good news is the teacher trend is going where it needs to now. So
Well, there's so much value in a teacher, and I'm just hope, with the state and everything, we just keep on, growing in that and reflecting
Right.
that there is a true value in the difference they make.
yeah,
In fact, Cindy Haltom she's our teacher site coordinator. That she had the students yesterday. We all wrote affirmation on a piece of paper with their name, but she got this inspiration to do this piece of paper because a teacher had a class do that every year, and this boy died in Vietnam, and this was
Wow.
in his pocket of what this teacher did, and this is a true story
Wow.
from elementary. So the
Oh,
teachers make a
wow.
huge difference, and he
Yes.
carried that affirmation, from that teacher.
Wow.
And the teacher had no idea the impact she
Right.
had done. And Cindy has us do that, which
Yeah.
to just encourage our students.
Oh yeah, and similarly, I was at a men's retreat. It's been probably about a month ago, but one of the guys that shared was, soldier was over there, but called him. So when he just needed somebody to talk to, so along those lines, that
Relationships.
connection.
Yep, those relationships.
And that's the thing, you bring up relationships, and to me, that's the key to anything, really.
Exactly. That's even, I know it might sound crazy, but I am not a car person. I didn't grow up learning to how to, but you care about people,
Right.
and do good to
Right.
do how you want to be treated, and that's just all of life, and
Right.
that's how I always looked at the car
Sure.
business is you do it like you want to be treated, because I don't like to go somewhere and buy something
Right.
and feel like I'm vulnerable because I don't know the product very
Right.
well.
Right.
So I just have to depend on that person to treat me the way they want to be treated.
Right.
Integrity and honesty.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the basic, and that it's just kind of the whole picture of what we think about to give, to be and have integrity and that.
Right.
Well, my wife and I, we have one son, but when I was at Fountain Lake, I think he was in 3rd grade. But anyway, one of the things that we talked about a lot, was just, like you're saying, treat people like you want to be treated. And then in my mind, I'm thinking, as superintendent of a district, is this okay for your son or what have you? Because if, setting the bar a little higher, I knew it was going to push him, but it pushed all kids. And I think sometimes those kids that come from, just not a good circumstance and, making them believe in what they do.
Yep. Everybody needs somebody, huh?
Well, I can remember, for instance, we had a young lady there that was a junior, and terrible background, but that ACT that she took in school, opened up a whole new world and got her to college, that kind of stuff.
Well, education and people caring breaks the cycle.
Right.
That hopefully can just improve their lives.
Yeah, and
That's what they want.
yeah, but honestly, it doesn't matter what you're doing. I think that relationship piece is so important.
It's like number one, in my opinion. It's
And
just
In
it's
all.
in everything.
all of life.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so you talked about what do you do to maybe not I don't know, but you and your husband to relax? What's
Probably our biggest thing we like to do is go down to Florida and just do nothing.
Oh, absolutely.
That's terrible. I see we
No,
go out there and we
yeah.
do nothing. It's the beach and we eat.
Right. Yeah.
Just
Right. Hey, right
relax.
there with
Yeah.
you. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
think that's a great vacation.
yeah. Yeah.
So that's one of our bigger ones.
Right.
And then just hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know you're a busy woman. We just want to tell you we appreciate you taking the time to to do that and or letting us come over here and do this. Again, this is the first road show for us. I think it went quite well.
It did, and I have to tell you, my 19-year-old daughter, she said, "You'll have to let me know if she's as nice in person as she is on the TV." Because she just, you know what I'm saying? You just genuinely seem very kind on TV, and you are truly very kind and very, you can just feel your heart as we talk to you.
Yeah.
So.
That's good.
And-
Anyway, I'll have to tell her yes.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think too on especially your Christmas commercials when you got the grandkids there, I'm thinking, oh, I wonder how many takes they had to. 'Cause that's like
Oh yeah,
could be
in
hurting
the
cats.
beginning,
Yeah.
there was one time I had my teeth. I was trying to smile, and the boys were just getting wild, and they kept on falling off the chair. And
right.
I said, just sit there and smile.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
You know, so yeah,
That's
there's
awesome.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
they're growing up and they kind of get it. But then
Right.
for a while, it was like, who's
Yeah.
going to have the breakdown?
Oh, yeah.
And we had a few meltdowns
Oh,
in
yeah.
the process.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Well, and the thing I think about too, we have pre-K all the way up, and I tell Candace a lot, if we really get down, that's where we need to go is hop in a pre-K room because number one, it's unpredictable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
but that's one of my favorite things to do. You said like go in a room because I used to go in rooms and read and stuff.
Right.
That's so much fun. And then we did Boys and Girls Club commercials and had those little kids around me. And
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that stuff's fun to be
Yeah,
around the
and
kids.
and
Yes.
One of my favorite.
yeah, it
things.
kind of keeps you grounded.
Yeah.
I know it does us because some
Oh, yeah,
days,
for sure.
we think about what's in front of us. Maybe get a little grumpy over that, but if you take
Right.
that side trip over
Yeah.
to the pre-K, man, it gets you, snaps you right back.
Snaps you back, yeah.
Well, I appreciate it again. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
thank
and
you.
if you're ever down Arkadelphia way, I mean,
Well, I am.
look us
I'm
up.
on the board at Washita, so I'm
Okay,
there.
well, good for
Hey,
you.
you had to-
Okay.
yeah.
I'll buy-
Yes,
All
drop by
right,
and visit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. I will say this: that construction crew that they've hired to build those dorms.
Yes.
If I ever build anything else, I'm going to get in touch with
They've
them.
been working hard.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
So yeah. Okay. Well, that'll wrap it up for this session of Spilling the Tea in Studio D.